Have you ever created a subclass? Me neither. Let's do it together. Why do it at all? There's lots of subclasses out there, but surprise, surprise, we're doing this as a world-building exercise. Unique rule sets will help you make your game world unique. D&D creates for the generalized. That's the job of a game system designer. When you're narrowing down to the size of a campaign map, use your power to give your players an experience that they will remember forever. But how do you do that when there are already so many subclasses available? But are there really? The new books are out, and there are only 4 per class. Shush! We're in a special time and a place at the release of this video. First of all those old subbies, they're still around for you to use. And they're still saying it's still all backwards compatible. Quiet, children. You already know that we are probably less than a year away from Tasha's 2024, and at least 4 more subclasses per class, a whack of new species, and piles of additional backgrounds. In the meantime, I'm not waiting for them, and neither should you. Now, to answer your questions, why should anyone play yet another subclass? When you're creating something that you want played, the solution is simple. Make it tougher. You should be clear, of course, that this is for the campaign only and not transferable. Let the rest of the community deal with the Pandora's box that you have opened. Now let's do it. The Warlock subclass requires 3 things: a general concept, a list of spells, and some nifty abilities for levels 3, 6, 10, and 14. So here's that general concept. This is written for a game setting I've been working on for a few months now. It's a lonely island, far removed from the rest of the world. Many consider it to be the end of the world, a place so far removed that to travel any farther would take you entirely out of the realms in which physical laws hold sway. In slightly more specific game terms, the Abyssal Kraken, who is our patron, rests in the astral realm just on the other side of the deepest ocean valleys, quite near to our island of Mournstone. Let's see what we've got for spells. Arms from the Abyss, that's new. Not really. It's a dressed up Arms of Hadar. You remember what I said about bumping things up? This is one of those bumps. All the saves are at disadvantage. Farther down the list, you've got a similar spell. Black Tentacles from the Abyss. Same thing as Evard's Black Tentacles, where saves are at disadvantage. You've got some basic stuff smashed in here. Create, destroy water, darkness, deafness, blindness, some sleet storms, some water breathing, kind of things that you would expect. We've got an ice storm when sleet's not enough, contact other plane, and conjure water elemental. If you don't agree with my spells, you can take them or leave them. I don't like your stuff either. It's going to make more sense though as we get into the subclass characteristics. There's a word for it. Features, subclass features. As the character fleshes out, and you'll see what the real point is. Maybe I'll figure it out along with you. 3rd level feature, Call to the Void. Now by the time a Warlock gets to 3rd level, the player already probably knows what subclass they're going to pick up what patron. So the character has been feeling the call of the sea for a while. They've got their magical abilities. They don't understand exactly why. But at 3rd level, when you make that commitment, big changes usually happen. Completely up to the DM how they handle it, completely up to the players how they play it. Work together, make it fun for everybody. Now where was I? Oh yeah! Call to the Void. You now experience glimpses of the future and the past. These are a jumbled series of images and emotions, but you have the ability to focus these impressions into useful bursts of insight. This can be done a number of times per long rest equal to your proficiency modifier. Well of Knowledge. You may give yourself proficiency in insight or history for 10 minutes. The whispers assist you as you try to figure it out. If you have proficiency, you gain expertise instead. Tactical Foresight. For 10 minutes, the battle plays in your mind's eye as if it has all happened before. These glimpses come mere instants before actions occur, but they have the effect of increasing your spell attack bonus and spell save DC by 1 for the duration of the effect. Whoop, time travel. Did you guys have a good night? Second day of recording, here we go. Level 6. Your patron grants you an additional spell. This spell must be one that you could normally select, and it must require an attack roll or saving throw. You may cast this spell once per long rest without expending a slot. If you cast it in this manner while using Tactical Foresight, your spell attack bonus or spell save DC are increased by 3 instead of 1 for this casting. The spell may be reselected after a long rest. Level 10. Oh, this next one is amazing. In fact, it's possibly too powerful. I would do some math before you allowed one of your players to do it. I'll do some math at some point, but you know, I've already written the script, so let's just dive in. You are resistant. Oh, excuse me, the name. The name's great. Eldritch Rending. You are resistant to psychic damage. You now add a D8 of psychic damage to each target of your Eldritch Blast when you successfully hit. If you have favored a different cantrip, this feature may be applied to that damage. Remember, Warlocks, when in doubt, Eldritch Blast. Blast, blast, blast. Level 14. Step into the beyond. You may move freely into the ethereal realm, taking additional travelers with you up to your proficiency bonus. These travelers must be willing individuals you can see within 60 feet. This feature takes 1 magical action to activate. Travel is instant. This ability may be used a number of times equal per long rest to your pro bonus. That's it. Easy, easy, that's all it takes. Realistically, it's still a rough draft. You're more than welcome to help me fine-tune it in the comments. If it's not obvious, we went spell-based as opposed to melee, and we got in some mind-bending stuff. There's a lot on the table with confusion effects and divination. I'm going to resist refining things right now. We will revisit our creation after it's had some time to percolate. Now, there is a method to my madness. It's a bit of a lesson, I suppose. I used to hate rough drafts. I wanted to do it perfect the first time, write it up, and be done. This applied to papers from school about 1,000,000 years ago, and for work-related projects. Took me a long time to embrace the rewrite. It's never going to be the best it can be the first time. Let other people see your work and criticize it. Take their suggestions to heart. Now always remember, it's your project. You don't have to make them happy, but you should definitely consider their opinions as you revise. Something like this might be playable after a second rewrite, and we're kind of there now that I've recorded it and done some adjusting along the way. But even after that, a little bit of play testing will probably reveal new problems, or let you test out things that you think might be a problem. Step into the beyond. Well, it could be game breaking. I'd say it's going to be okay, but you never know. Needs to be tested. Eldritch Rending, the same way. That's a lot of damage. Let your players know what they're getting into. They're beta testing. There could be changes. There will be changes. You might like some of them. You might hate the others. It's kind of like the end of this video. Some of you wish I could keep going forever. Others are glad it's done. Comments are extra important for this one, folks. It's something we haven't done before, so if you hate it, I need to know. If you love it, we can absolutely do more. I can pretty much promise there will be something on Rangers, because I got a subclass for them that I definitely have to write up, and if they're under strength, we want to take care of that too. I want to thank you all for stopping by. I've had fun. You are all important to me and the world around you. Have a great rest of the week. You deserve it. Cheers. Oh good, you're still here. It's been a couple of weeks since I wrote the first draft. I've made some tweaks. We talked about them. Got amped up on the tentacle spells. They got a paint job, new names. I filled in some details. Nothing too much. The real reason for this bonus footage is I had some thoughts on how I might play this character. I think I would play up the visions and hallucinations. If the DM called for a perception check and I failed it, the character's excuse might be, "Sorry, did something happen? I was in the void." I might randomly ask if somebody needed a water breathing spell and then correct myself. "Oh, forgive me. I thought we were underwater." Have a whole conversation with yourself and wait for the party to notice, then just ask, "Are you real?" Don't be disruptive. This is something you can play up once a session and people will remember. Now, I'm not a great role player, but I realize it's small steps and tricks that can make the experience more enjoyable for everyone.